So, all right, does everyone see this front slide?
Yeah, let's, yeah. Okay, let's get started. So, uh, let's move on, Philip. So this is about CPMAI that we are going to talk today. So I want to start with a lot of initiatives that we are taking at RefineM, and I want to share those with you. Um, so first of all, I think we realize the need for um, sharing knowledge and helping uh, project managers and product owners to learn about Gen AI and how they can use Gen AI in their day-to-day work. So we created a 2-day Gen AI workshop. So it's very different than regular training. Regular training will have, you will develop conceptual knowledge, like there may be about 50 different courses on Gen AI. There are several that PMI has and Google has, and everybody has that. But this is different. Here you are able to, what I call, get your hands dirty. So you can actually practice something while attending the course. And whosoever has attended course has given very good feedback about this course. So first thing, that's what we did. We developed this course really in early 2024, and then since then we have been offering this every month. So if you are interested to learn more about and do some practice, this is one of the opportunities that you have. Okay, the second initiative that we have is I created a what I call as AI POC group. So we had about dozen of volunteer project managers who joined the group, and Kevin and Shobha, you see here that they will be presenting what they worked on as one of the POCs that you see in progress CPMAI. That is what they worked on, and we completed 4 POCs so far. Um, Use cases, first identify the use cases, and then go ahead and develop something that you know that can be real, that can be shared with the rest of the PMs. So that's what we did: earned value management, project status reporting, risk management, and developing the charter, project charter. So I think those were the 4 POCs that we have done, and the first two we also presented at projectmanagement.com. You can see the recording on projectmanagement.com. The remaining two we are scheduling with PMI, and whenever they give us the dates, then those will be presented. And then we have other POCs that you see here. You will hear about CPMAI today, and then others in progress. Uh, so if you want to join this group, you are more than welcome to join the group. Write to me. Philip, if you can type my email address in the chat, you can do that. And then also our team in India and Singapore has developed several tools for AI tools that can be used by project managers, product owners, teams to basically query a database in simple English language. So dbquery.ai is the tool that can help you query in English language and uh, get the answers. And then IntelliDoc AI is basically, you can query a document library, and that document library you can query for anything, and it will give you the response based on the what you are looking for. So once again, query in English language. You don't have to have the knowledge for SQL, and you don't have to worry about the database and all that. So there's something going on. So I just wanted to share with you what we are doing at RefineM. And now I hand it over to Shobha and Kevin to talk about their POC.
Thank you, NK. Hello, my name is Davis. I've been a project manager who pivoted from project manager from development. I specialize mainly in information technology and soon generative AI.
Hey, hi, I'm Sobha Chittila with over 20 years of experience in digital transformation, cybersecurity, and manufacturing systems. My focus has always been on aligning technology with business strategies to drive measurable, data driven results. So we can move on to the next slide.
Basically, the agenda is going to be, we're going to do an introduction to CPMAI, the phases of CPMAI, the adoption rate and success metrics, the case studies, and the takeaways. Next slide, please. First and foremost, what is CPMAI? It stands for Cognitive Project Management for AI. It's just a structured republic on AI projects and keeps the important steps such as business alignment, data quality, ethics, and continuous learning. It first came out in 2017 from a group called Cognitive, and now owned by PMI. What makes CPMAI stand? That first, it takes the best from Agile and combines it with data-focused discipline of CRISP DM. And basically, you get a framework that helps organizations manage AI, machine learning, advanced data projects end-to-end without losing sight of strategy or quality along the way. Next slide, please. More than 80% of AI and machine learning projects fail, and that's usually not because of tech, but because project management isn't lined up right. The practice is wrong. Traditional frameworks such as Agile, of course, which we use, don't cut it when it comes to AI. Agile doesn't deal with data-first mindset, the constant model training cycles, or the full AI lifecycle. Basically, AI isn't your typical software project. Models drift, data gets stale, ethical issues pop up, and the regulations are only getting tighter each time. And that's where CPMAI comes in. It takes trustworthy AI checkpoints, data readiness gates at every stage, so you're not wasting time or on rework or getting blindsided by compliance issues. Please. As you see, when you compare CPMAI to traditional frameworks, your goal is very different each way. But for example, for CPMAI, it's best for AI diagnostics, Gen AI apps, and predictive analytics. And Agile is best for user-facing apps, either feature development. And of course, you got your waterfall, regulated or predictive projects like compliance-heavy or IT implementations. The bottom line is this: CPMAI extends Agile and Waterfall by embedding AI-specific governance, data, and ethics, of course. Use CPMAI plus Agile hybrid for modern AI projects. Waterfall is only relevant for AI in rare cases, regular data, and of course, migration projects. Next slide, please.
One thing I want to add real quick is, the data part is really important in these projects because, as Kevin said, like the data can change so much. It's so fluid. And so if you have like an application first approach, then that can really fall apart quickly. So that's where you really want to get something that focuses on data. That's something really important.
Right.
Okay, so next slide.
Yeah, please. On this slide, you see a breakdown on the top reasons why most AI projects fail when you're using traditional project management frameworks. And it should not be a surprise. First, you got poor data quality. You gotta have good data quality. Yep, if you get bad data, the output's going to be garbage. Then, of course, there's the business management projects. They don't always tie to actual business goal. We also see a lack of iteration and model monitoring. AI is never one and done. Models need constant upgrades, retraining, and oversight. And finally, there is the ethical gaps. You gotta make sure there's no question about bias, fairness, and also make sure compliance is all set. So that's where CPMAI comes in. It makes sure the project doesn't fail. And everything is compliant, ethics, no biases. Next slide, please.
So this is an introduction about the CPMAI 6 phases. As shown in the picture, the CPMAI is structured into 6 distinct but interconnected phases that guide AI projects from conception to deployment. Each phase ensures that projects stay aligned with business value while addressing common risks like poor data quality, ethical blind spots, and lack of iteration. Unlike traditional project management, CPMI is iterative and data centric, designed to manage the unique life cycles of AI projects. In the next slides, we will walk through each phase outlining its purpose, key deliverables, and checkpoints to provide clarity on when a project should advance or pause. This structured approach reduces rework, improves collaboration, and embeds trustworthiness into every AI project. Let's walk through each and every phase. Moving on to the next slide. So this is phase one, which is business understanding. This is the foundational phase where we have to understand. And the very key important question is, why are we doing this AI project? That is the key basic question. And this is where business and technical teams align on scope and success criteria. Misalignment of this phase is the number one reason why most of the AI projects fail. AI is not an experiment here. It's a strategic investment tied directly to measurable outcomes. So as you can see, the key deliverables here are a clear business problem statement, business case with ROI expectations, a list of stakeholders and their objectives, and the KPIs that define success. The checkpoint here is simple. Unless the scope and the expected benefits are approved, the project should not move forward. Moving on to the next slide. Phase two, which is the data understanding. Once we know what problem we are solving, the next step is to ask, do we have the right data to solve it? Here we collect, explore, and assess the available data. Data discovery is often underestimated. Poor quality data derails the project later. This phase can reveal whether external data sets, synthetical data, or additional instrumentations are needed. Collaboration between the data experts, domain experts, data scientists is essential just to help assess if the data really represents the business problem. The deliverables here include a data inventory report, data quality scorecard, a decision on whether any existing data is sufficient or if it needs enrichment. The checkpoint ensures that if the data is not relevant, sufficient, or of acceptable quality, the project should pause. Moving on to the next slide. Phase three, which is data preparation. This is often the most resource intensive phase, often consuming around 70 to 80% of the project time. Here, raw data is transformed into clean, structured, and labeled data sets that can be used for modeling. It's also where reproducibility is established. Every cleaning and transformation step must be documented for auditing. The deliverables here include a cleaned and labeled data set, full documentation of the preparation steps, and the checkpoint here is garbage in, garbage out, ensuring only high quality, unbiased data flows into the model. It ensures that the data meets the quality standards. Unnecessary or inefficient data should not be moved on to the model. So a clear, effective model should be built and for training. Moving on to the next slide. This is the phase 4, which is the model development. Now comes the phase where most people think of when they hear AI building the model. This is the phase where the main model is built. Success here is not just about performance metrics, it's also about balancing the accuracy with transparency and fairness. CPMAI encourages iterative experimentation, test multiple algorithms, compare and refine. Decision making at this stage is also about sustainability. Can the chosen model be deployed and maintained realistically? So the deliverables here are candidate model that has been picked or selected, and then the training and evaluation logs, selection of the best performing models. The checkpoint in this phase is that the model must meet minimum accuracy, reliability, fairness, and ethical standards. Moving on to the next slide. So this is model evaluation. As explained, evaluation is not just about accuracy, it's about fairness, ethical, and business relevance. A model with 95% accuracy but high bias is not acceptable. Fairness and compliance matters equally. Business validation is critical. To understand whether the model delivers measurable improvements in the KPI. This is the go no go decision gate. Projects should pause or pivot if evaluation fails rather than just rushing it into production. Moving on to the next slide. So here the key deliverables, sorry, so I want to just talk about the deliverables. So a comprehensive validated report, bias or fairness test results, and recommendations for improvements. Those are the key deliverables. And the checkpoint here is the model is not only effective, but also ethical and aligned with the regulations. So, and we move on to the final phase, which is the model operationalization. This is where the AI goes live. The model is deployed into production with monitoring and retraining pipelines in place. Deployment is just not the end, it's the beginning of the model lifecycle. Continuous monitoring is needed to catch model drifts, data decay, or changing business conditions. CPMAI treats this as a living process. Models must be retrained, revalidated, and recalibrated regularly. Here, the deliverables would be a product ready model pipeline, live performance metrics dashboards, a retraining and maintenance plan. The checkpoint ensures that the model is actively monitored and continues to deliver measurable business outcomes. So, when the organization uses CPMAI, they don't just deliver models, they deliver measurable business values. So, moving on to the next slide. Kevin, I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. As you can see, CPMAI adoption is increasing each year. At first, it started slow in 2017, and then each year it went up more and more. But in 2023, it started to skyrocket. Now, in 2025, it means to skyrocket, and there's no slowing down in adapting CPMAI. Next slide, please. Next, here is a bar chart and show how metrics improve with CPMAI. We're looking at major industries such as healthcare, financial, retail, and manufacturing. Each bar represents the average percent improvement compared to using traditional project management frameworks. Takeaway is simple. No matter what the industry is, CPMAI always deliver better results in a consistent way. Next slide, please. In this case study, a Fortune 1000 global retailer that wanted to automate in-store inventory tracking using AI-powered computer vision. Now, this wasn't their first attempt. It failed, maybe because of poor data preparation, lack of stakeholder alignment, and even ethical risks tied to biased training data. So what did they do? They adapted CPMAI. That's by using the 6 phases. The project goals were straightforward but critical. Reduce manual labor, improve detection of out-of-stock events, deliver real-time inventory accuracy, and of course, keep the stakeholders satisfied. Next slide, please. As you see how each phase went in action. For the business understanding, it clarified the KPIs. It increased real-time inventory accuracy. It cut out the detection of out-of-stock events and, of course, reduction of manual labor. It also helped data understanding. It audited existing shelf cam footage, and 20% of labeled images found to be inaccurate or insolvent, or inconsistent, sorry. But as you see, it has improved by going down each phase. It has improved actions within the project. Next slide, please.
One thing I want to point real quick too is there probably would have been a heavy chance of project failure had they not done this part, the labeled images, and really gone through this. And so much happens with this even before they really wrote live code and started working on the model. So
right.
So much goes into the business understanding being the foundation, then the data understanding. So I think that's one really key takeaway here. I'm glad that this has been emphasized, that there's a lot of groundwork you have to do to get things ready.
Yeah, because when they adapted CPMI, the project succeeded, of course. And that's a key takeaway by each phase and each action. And you see that it worked. Of course, we're probably still working on it because it never stops. Next slide, please. As you see, there is huge success to the project. As you look before CPMI and after CPMI, the percentage increase, the deployment decrease, time of complaints went down to high to none. And of course, the important thing of all projects is stakeholder satisfaction, went up from 64% to 93%. The factors was there. First, there was early alignment of what the business impact actually needed to be measured.
Would you like, I have some egg salad if you'd like.
Some what?
I could make an egg salad sandwich if you'd like.
Right.
Or I have chicken noodle soup.
We have somebody.
If you could
Okay,
please
I'll
mute.
go get it.
Mute your mic.
Okay. Second, data quality and ethics were not left as afterthoughts. They are built into each phase. As those checks happen continuously, not at once, not at the end. They're checked at each phase. Okay, do you meet all the ethical compliance? And third, the team stayed agile between phases. Feedback wasn't saved up for the finish line. It was iterative, built in a process, made the whole effort strong. Next slide, please.
Okay, so coming to the key takeaways for this new CPMAI. So the first main thing is the structured phase is critical. Just don't skip and move ahead without the checkpoints. The second thing is always test it in your test environment or the pilot first, and then you move it into the production or make it go live. The change management is crucial here, and always keep your stakeholders engaged. Metrics must align with the business outcomes, not just technical accuracy. It's more important that we have the business alignment also. Always ensure that you have feedback loops in this model so that it makes the data more relevant and evolving. So to emphasize, the CPMI is just not another framework. It's designed for the unique life cycle of AI projects. Practitioners who skip or compress the phases would almost always revisit them later in the project with an additional higher cost. Success comes from discipline and iteration. There are no shortcuts. So moving on to the next slide. So managing AI projects requires more than the standard project management. It calls for adapting proven principles to technology like machine learning and generative AI. With PMI now managing the CPMI framework, project managers have access to structured, recognized, and evolving resources that build real world competencies in AI project delivery. If someone is really interested to learn more about CPMAI or where they can learn more, so PMI offers a CPMAI certification, which blends AI projects with core PM project management skills. There is also a free intro to CPMAI, which gives us 3 PDUs, which gives us the basic understanding of CPMAI. There's 6 phases. And moving on to the next slide, there are other resources that can also be, you can also leverage those, which one is the advanced course from CPM on CPMAI that's also been provided by PMI. So this is the course where the project management skills, apart from the project management skills, it also talks about the advanced models like LLM, generative AI. This is way advanced course, and it's really good to go through this. And finally, we also have a library in PMI. If you just search with the keywords like CPMAI or AI projects, you will see a list of articles and some presentations also available. So definitely do check out the PMI website for the additional information. And moving on to the next slide. So let's talk about the best practices here. Always run a data readiness assessment before modeling. As Philip, Kevin, everyone has emphasized, data is the key in AI projects. So always make sure if the data is ready and do a thorough assessment of your data. Always start small with pilot deployments, and then you can expand it at a larger scale and move it into the production. Uh, Always track your performance metrics against your KPIs, not just the accuracy scores. Ensure that your model is compliant, it has the privacy requirements and fairness and built in, and it's not just bolted. Make sure like it is built in and developed as per your requirements. So the best practices are not one-time tasks. They are embedded behaviors. Ethical and regulatory guidelines are not optional here. They are business critical. The most successful organizations treat CPMAI as a cultural discipline, not just project methodology or just another project management tool. So moving on to the next slide. So the key takeaways or the key emphasis here is AI's effectiveness depends not on the algorithms, but on how well the projects are managed end to end. CPMI helps teams move beyond does the model work to does the model deliver measurable business value consistently. To conclude, don't treat any AI like a traditional software. Treat it as a living, evolving system and managing it with the rigor that CPMI provides. By adopting CPMI, organizations can dramatically increase their chances of success, turning AI from experimental pilots into strategic value-driven initiatives. With this, I think we would like to go with a quick quiz.
Yes, and thank you, Shobha, and thank you, Kevin. So we'll have a quiz now, and I'll go ahead and load that up and share the code that you can join from Menti. So let's see here. So you should be able to see my And let me make sure we're all the way back at the beginning. Okay, so 4391051. I'll put that in the chat as well. That's for people to join. And so we'll have 5 questions based on what we've just gone over. While we're waiting for people to join, if you're able to, I would also like to say the free CPMI intro for the 3 PDUs is a really good resource to get an idea of what CPMA is all about, a little bit more depth on the phases and the reasons for the approach. So I think that's a good place to start if you're interested. The course that leads to the certification is a self-paced online course. I believe it's about 22 to 25 hours of video content and modules. I think about 30 hours total. And once you've completed that, then you're eligible to take a test similar to the PMP in order to obtain the CPMAI certification through PMI.
I think I want to see one thing. I think there's also a discount for members for take the actual CPMAI exam from PMI, of course.
That's right. I think there is a member rate. That's true.
I think kind of like it went from 1,000 to 600 or $700. I'm not sure.
I believe it's $699.
$699. Okay.
All right, so we have 3 people ready.
So
let's give another minute for people to
I
join.
have a question to for Shobha, Kevin, and Philip, who have done a little bit of work in CPMAI. So if a team tries to manage or manages a project using agile or hybrid or something like that, what kind of issues they will face?
I can take it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So the agile and frameworks, they are mostly iterative, but they're not data centric at all. When it comes to AI projects, we are talking about huge data, understanding, labeling. So we work a lot with the data, and CPMAI is where it aligns with and also helps us with data mining, more like data mining and data understanding. So CPMI, that's the difference, main focus difference between waterfall, agile, or CPMI. And Kevin, you can add to it.
Yeah, I agree with Sobha. The thing is with CPMI over agile is it makes sure the data is 100% prepared. With agile, you're just doing iterative. Okay, like for example, you're doing a website in agile. Is this done? You go next phase or next. In CPMI, you're just going, make sure data is ready. Okay, next phase, data ready, and so on.
Yeah. So then I have other part of it. If somebody used CPMAI for a regular software development project, is there any benefit?
I don't see any benefit. If your CPMI is so AI focused, I mean, I haven't seen AI in different projects at all.
Yeah.
It could be done.
Yeah, I'm thinking about different projects. Like there are a lot. Last year we did a data analytics project for a company,
Maybe
which was heavily data driven. Because
I'm sorry. Okay, maybe for data analytics project, maybe, but I'm not so sure for regular agile web-based project.
So is the data analytics using or building any model? Like, is it using LLM or is it using any other advanced tools?
No, that's
the key difference.
That project did not use any LLMs. It was not a AI kind of a project. It was a regular, like our customer needed some analytical reports.
So this CPMAI, is basically for AI projects where we are using large language models, RAG, or NPL, so these are the kind of, this is for those kind of AI projects where you're building the model and training it and, training it so that you can use it or leverage it in future to performance improvement or any. So that is the core difference, I would say, between the CPMAI and other models, other frameworks.
So is it separate or does it supplement those?
So as I said, right, CPMI is like a combination of, it includes some features of agile methodology, some features of crisp DM. So agile is where iteration, right? That is part of CPMAI. When it comes to crisp DM, it is part of the data centric, where you are doing rigorous understanding of the data that is included in C. So CPMAI is built based on, I would say, like, picking all the good things from each and every other phrase and making a complete sub-phrase framework. So which can be only worked on AI first mod projects.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, Kevin, you are saying something.
Okay, well, I'm saying that CPMI is taking the best of Agile and creating its own little framework. So you could say CPMI is an offshoot of Agile. But
okay, very good. So I think we have 4 players. So let's finish the quiz and then we'll come back to Q&A again.
All right. Let's see. So let's go ahead and start with question 1, and this will be standard answer faster to get more points. So, all right, first question here is about the organization that created CPMAI. Of course, so IBM, PMI, or Cognilytica, and you have 10 seconds to answer. Okay, so yeah, one person got Cognilytica was one that created the framework, and then PMI's acquired it and made part of its framework. But if you go through the CPMI course, a lot of it is still run through Cognilytica, and they also run the PMI AI Today podcast. Some of the folks from Cognilytica. Okay, so Susan is in front, and here's question 2. So what framework, and this one was originally set for data mining, and we're combined with Agile and CPMAI to kind of, as Kevin and Shobha were saying, combine like the best of both worlds. All right, this one was a little tougher. There was some mention of it. Crisp DM, the DM part stands for data mining, and then I think the first part is like cross-industry specification. This was started in like the late 90s as a way to kind of put together best practices across industries for collecting data or data mining. So that kind of is folded into CPMI with Agile. So iterative and then following some of these best practices. All right. Susan's doing great here. So got 4 people. So 3 more questions. So it's a chance for someone else to come back in. 3 players. Do we have a 4th person still? Give a couple seconds for our 4th person. Okay, so question 3. Which phase comes first in CPMAI projects? So what is the most important thing to do first? And I apologize, I let that one 15 seconds. Normally probably leave 10 seconds for our responses, but this will give you a little bit more time. All right, yeah, I'm glad to see that everyone got that answer. So you want to make sure what your business is, what you're trying to do. One thing comes up too in the free CPMAI, but this emphasize throughout is not doing AI projects for the sake of doing AI projects. It's definitely the hot thing right now, and so maybe a lot of executives may want to see it, but you really need to have a strong reason for doing it. So the Gendron's got on the board and Susan's still in front. So our question 4. During which phase is the AI or ML machine learning model built? So is that model development, model evaluation, or model operationalization? All right, yeah. And keep in mind too that this is phase 4 of the 6-phase process. So you're not really doing a lot of building the application until this point. And then evaluation, you're checking the initial results, and operationalization, you're rolling it out and making sure of any last minute changes needed. All right. So Gendron's made a little bit more close. Susan's still in front, and here's our last question. Which phrase best describes CPMAI? So we're gonna have three phrases here, and which of these, if you're trying to describe CPMAI in a nutshell, which of these would be the best phrase to use? Excellent, yeah, because it's really all about data, because data is very fluid, and that's what makes CPMAI kind of a hybrid of Agile and CRISP-PM, is because you really want to focus on data, make sure that you've got the right data, you've got free of bias and everything. So it's not really about a model or an app, it's mostly about data. So great job on that one. All right, it looks like Susan and Nagendran are our top 2. So congratulations, thanks for playing. And I will put our email in the chat box for you to contact us about the prizes that we mentioned on the slide. So thank you for participating in the quiz, and I will, at this point, you should see a couple other slides. So like if there are any other webinar topics you'd like to see us deliver, either about AI or Agile, other project management, anything you're curious about and would like to see us deliver, take this time to add those in here. And then we'll also have another slide about just how we did and whether you'd recommend us for any other webinars. So does anyone have any webinar topics they'd like to see? And again, you can join at let me make sure I have that code. The code should be up here. All right, 43910521. And you can also email us at trainings@refineM.com if you have any other topics you'd like to explore as well. So I'll give a couple more seconds and then we'll go to case study of AIPM. Yeah, that'd be great. I think the one that was presented here in the slides for CPMI was pretty good, but yeah, I think a lot of people are probably interested in what does this look like? How is this going to be relevant to my organization? And I think looking at case studies is a really good way to do that. So yeah, that's a great suggestion. Any others? Type of data project samples, how I was using particular industries. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a great one. Because we talked a little bit about healthcare and finance and some specific industries where the value was seen from implementing CPMAI. So I think those would be great ones. All right. For the input there. And so our last slide here, how strongly would you recommend this webinar? All right. All right. Yeah, we appreciate everyone's input. We worked pretty closely with Kevin Shova, and so I know that they have really solid presentation ready. So I'm glad to see people have enjoyed it. And so I'll back out of this and uh, go back to the slide deck and check and see if there are any questions. So, all right, are there any questions or anything, any feedback anyone has? You can use the chat box or open up, unmute and say your question.
I did ask a couple of questions in the chat, but I'll just
Okay. Yeah.
throw them out there. The one was in phase 6, you're monitoring for ensure that the model is continually providing measurable business values. And my question is, how would you do that? Is that some sort of a reality check? And is that some baseline that you're comparing to? What does that look like?
Yeah, so it depends on what are your key measurables, right? Like, for example, I can give you one example, the basic example. One of the case study was like customer satisfaction. So that's where, you try to present your model and get some feedbacks and see how are the customer satisfaction and the rate. So that is one way of doing it. The other was the KPI of improving error rate. So you keep your model keeps trying to provide the outputs, and you see whether measure it against your key values and determine whether the error rate was minimized or maximized. And that, again, based on that, you will refine your data and again try to build again, introduce the model again, right? So it depends on what exactly your measurables are. While you are defining your key measurables, you also define how you're going to monitor it. It could be just a report, it could be based on some feedback. So you also discuss with the group, the stakeholders, how you want to measure it and report it. So that's also a key thing in the business understanding phase itself.
But how do you know if your data is degrading? I see that I'm hearing the mechanics of how you would do that, but how do you ensure that the results are valid or not? And so maybe something has changed in the universe that needs to be included in your model.
Yeah, so the KPIs would be defined, right? Like, say so it would be the subject matter experts in your organization that they would decide on what are the metrics that they should meet. And if it is not meeting, what are the root causes of the metric, what changed. And so they will have to go back and see what changed, what was good before, what is not working right now. So it's a like, iterative process. You have to keep trying. And it's different between the organizations, different between the models, and also the KPIs, I would say.
So what I'm hearing is that it may not be a matter of your model has an issue. It could be that it's pointing out something in your organization that needs to change.
Yeah, multiple things. It could be the model, could be the data that you're ingesting more and more. So because, as I said, it's data centric, right? It could be the data. So if the data is you're putting a bad data into the model, you'll get bad results. So it could be multiple different reasons why it may be derailing from your focused goals, actually. So it's just not the model, but it could also be the basic fundamental things before your model gets into the model, right? So you need to evaluate at multiple different checkpoints, I would say.
I'd like that too. I think one big thing is just checking with people who are the end users and who are supposed to be using it, and are they? And then what concerns do they have? And with any project, AI or agile or because you always have run the risk, and especially if you don't do your due diligence on the business understanding of putting out something that no one really uses or that no one gets any value out of. So there is that change management aspect of getting people ready to use it and making sure they have what they need to get the most benefit. So I think too, watching people or surveying them and seeing just how they're responding to what you've created.
Right. So as I mentioned before also, right, this is a collaborative effort between the business owners, between the data scientists, business analytics team, because each one of them come with their expertise from different areas. So that's how they can help and improve the model, or clearly specify like what is wrong and try different methods.
There are a few questions in the chat box, Philip, if you can scan that.
Yeah. So let's see, Liz, I saw you asked about the PMI templates, and projectmanagement.com might have some. You might check there. I know for the CPMAI course book, they have a workbook that you can download that takes you through the phases and has like guiding questions for each part to help you um, establish and make sure you're following each part of the phase. And the flow of the project. And they have also complete examples of what it could look like, so that you can see at every point like what needs to be checked, and then based off on where we're at the end of the phase, do we proceed or do we pause or do we terminate the project, the go no go decision. So
Yeah,
that's something that might be useful.
Yeah, I was just curious whether there were specific templates for AI projects that are different from the PMI templates. And yeah, I'm in an industry today that we've implemented some AI, but there's more to be implemented. I'm actually with a telecommunications company. So yeah, our customers are looking more and more for like I want to call it self-healing networks. So where you take the analytics of alerts and alarms, and then you identify trending, and you, especially on a specific customer, so that you understand the trends, so that you can automatically adjust bandwidth or port speeds or whatever, and to build that within the network. So that's why I was curious whether, because I'm thinking, how do you validate that data? Because there's so much data once you build the model. I mean, you can start out small, but then are there tools that allow you to identify when there are anomalies in the data that you're getting?
I think, yeah, go ahead, Shobha, you respond first. I have some
No,
ideas on that.
I would say, like CPMI is still evolving. So
Mhm.
there are a few templates, but not to this extent where you are talking about analyzing. But we can still use other AI tools if it is allowed in your organization. Like, some of the analysis can be done, or maybe using other generative AI tools. But again, it's up to the organization's decision whether we can use those tools or not.
Right.
So
Like I said, I was curious because, again, when you have massive amounts of data and you set up a large learning model to learn each individual, how do you know if it goes wrong?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that is why for AI kind of projects you have data understanding first.
Yeah.
Correct.
That is the prime reason that you don't go to model development or model implementation before you understand data. And in my experience, I have done a lot of data related projects. Data is always messy. In many organizations, it is inconsistent. It's so I think the focus on putting focus on data, analyzing that data, because that will drive to select the right kind of model. It's not other way around. That is why you have the data understanding before you go to the model development. So that need to happen first. And I was just looking at a couple of things I noted. I was looking at some company doing recruitment for a team for developing a chatbot. Okay. and they had two key roles. One was data engineer, other was data architect. So they, instead of developer, they did not have a developer like a regular software developer. But these two positions were there in that. Of course, there were model developers and prompt engineer and all those kind of things. So you will see even the roles that are needed to deliver a AI or ML project. There will be a lot of emphasis on data. So that is why the phase of data understanding is before the model, not afterwards. So whatever tools the data engineers, data analysts, data architects, they can use to analyze data and provides insight that this is what they have found. So they can provide this input to the people who are going to do the model development. That will be helpful. That is why I feel data understanding comes before model development.
Yeah, and if I could add, like relays like even without the AI models, we used to do those, with lot of human effort and trying to understand where it's wrong and all the dashboards and everything. For example, I work in a manufacturing company, so we do understand when a process is going out of control, out of specifications. But what this model will do is help us to it's before the effect, right? Like instead of it will do proactively kind of thing. So we already know what should be considered as this is the limit. If it goes beyond this, okay, this is when we say it's out of control. So the business owners already know. So working with the business owners and the data analysts will help us to say, like in case of predictive analysis, so based on the limits or based on the controls that we say, okay, if it is beyond this, yes, it is you should notify this. So that's that's what I'm trying to say is like we know the owners know it. It's just getting the information from them and applying it to our model.
There is one more question, Philip, I think from Nagendran.
Yeah, I see from Nagendran. So your tabular chart that showed the marginal accuracy was less than diverse areas. Let me go back to that. Are you referring to this slide here? The CPMAI impact on metrics?
Okay, in one of the slides, a tabular chart shows model accuracy was less in diverse areas.
Yeah, he's saying yes. This is the
Yeah,
one.
that's what he's saying. This is the one.
No, so this chart basically, is comparing the CPMAI with other traditional models, and this chart is trying to show the improvement after using CPMAI model. So that is the percentage of improvement in each of the sectors. It is not low or high. It is a percentage improvement when used CPMAI instead of any other model or framework.
Yeah, so for
Does
each
that
of
make
these,
sense?
this would be about a 5% increase here, like 6%, 4%.
Right.
But yeah, it is an increase over traditional project management being used as project. You are seeing more, I guess, bang for your buck for things like time to market and stakeholder satisfaction, reduced project failures. But yeah, it's still a net gain, even if it's hovering more around like the 5%. But I do open. So as far as like the other part of your question, improving model accuracy, Shobha or Kevin, any thoughts on that?
No, I think what it shows that thanks to CPM AI projects are running more smoothly than they did before. As AI continue to grow, we're going to see more improvements with project management within AI. Shobha?
Yeah, that's right. So based on the CPMI framework, it has improved when compared to the traditional models.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nagendra said he understands it now, so it clarifies it.
Excellent.
That's good.
All right, so we're at the top of the hour. Any other questions before we wrap up? All right, Kevin, Shobha, I'll leave any last closing thoughts to you and MK if you have anything. But thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful day.
Thank you. Thanks for your time today.
I think that